is going to be this time, and that's totally unknown territory.
Very insightful, sir. It's going to be very disruptive politically, right? I mean, that's what the French Revolution was about. French Revolution was about inflation at its core. People were suffering.
That's right. So that's the concern. To me, $10,000 gold is a relatively conservative estimate, because if I was reluctant to do projections like this in the future and so on and so forth, but when I listened to the debt ceiling debate in 2011, it became crystal clear that the debt situation wasn't going to get resolved. Doesn't matter who was in power or what they were going to do. There's no political will to make a decent dent in it. So the debt is going to keep accelerating, and the relationship between U.S. debt and the price of gold is almost a perfect correlation. I've got a chart of that in the book.
Let's talk about the bail-in scenario, and you wrote about this, and I'm glad you did, because you wrote all about it. And a lot of people are holding up this Canadian economic plan in a couple of specific pages. I think it's 144 and 145, where they talk about, taking other assets and not putting this off on the taxpayers. And, of course, you vault your gold at Soshimokata Bank, and you wrote a piece about this, saying, talking about the bail-in scenario specifically with you. You're in Canada. I'm talking to you. You're in Toronto. But you wrote a piece about this. Are they going to be able to take people's allocated gold accounts and get a bail-in?
See, what you've just said is where the confusion lies.
Good. I'm the right guy.
As an allocated account. And this is where people, particularly in Switzerland, they open up a precious metals account, gold, silver, platinum. It's an account. It's no different than a cash account. When you have a cash account, you've basically given the bank your money, and they promise to give it back to you. They're not holding it in trust. It's no longer your money. You've given them a loan. And there's plenty of court cases in the U.S. that establish that point. So it's not your gold. It's not your money. The bank owes you the money or the gold, as it may be. And what just happened in ABN AMRO, where they apparently refused to give the client gold. Well, he never owned any gold. The bank, he had an IOU with the bank, and if you read the fine print on those agreements, they have the right to settle in cash. And given that it's the bank's money, if the central bank or the government passes legislation that says, 10% or do whatever, then they can. But when you have bullion, there's two very important stages, which we've got another article on that, which gives you a checklist and so on. But stage one is you have to buy the gold and have title transferred to you. You can't buy an allocated account. It doesn't exist. You buy the bullion first, and just like a car, a boat, a house, the asset is specifically detailed. In the case of bullion bars, you have the refiner, the serial number, the exact weight, and the exact purity.
Just like an automobile where you have the vehicle identification number, the make, the model, the year, same thing.
Yeah, you have to have those things to be able to transfer title. And usually there's representations from the seller and so on and so forth. So that's stage one. Okay, by having an account that says you've got 1,324 ounces is not owning gold. You can't own ounces. You can only own bars. Okay, so that's step one that is missing. Once you own the bullion, you have to enter into an allocated custodial agreement. Okay, that's not an account. It's an agreement where the custodian agrees to hold on to your bars, and it sets out what he can and can't do with the bars without your permission.
And this is where you come in. This is where your expertise is.
Right. And this costs more, and that's where people have looked at that it's cheaper to buy gold through an account, but the point of it is